Hey everyone, I am going to be reviewing Kiss Gradation polishes. I got these for free from Influencer to test out, so I'm going to review these and do a short demo. I got the gold version also. There's 3 different color varieties. Comes in blue, red, and gold. My personal favorite is the gold, so that's kind of nice. Before I get started, I did want to review a few other products I'm going to use in my video. First is the Jordana Garlic Base Coat. So this is a super cheap base coat. You can get it for like $2 at Walgreens, but it's really important to use a base coat anytime you paint your nails. It just is good for the health of your nails. And then also I'm going to be using white Jordana, and I'm just going to do a version with white to show you kind of how that looks. And then I have Nicole by OPI top coat. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and open these up. I've already done all my nails with the base coat, so then I just want to point out it's really super easy to know how to do this. I have already opened it. I don't have the instructions, but it's a basic 1, 2, 3. It's already on there. So I'm going to get started with step 1. And I always go ahead and do 2 coats. So I'm going to do that really quick and then I'll show you what it looks like. Sorry, I can't really paint on the camera. My camera just doesn't angle well that way. But that's kind of what a first coat looks like. It's kind of hard to tell. It's a really light gold color. It's a shimmery color. So that's kind of nice too if you're not looking for something too drastic. Definitely the blue is a little more drastic. You're going to get more color going on with that. You can always look it up on Kiss's website. They have tons of products, and this is just one that you can view there. The red also is going to have a little bit more color than the gold. So if you're looking for more color, that might be the way to go. But gold also is looking great for the holiday season. It's a good Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's parties, even just parties in general. I think gold is a great color. So again, this is what we're looking at for the gold for the first coat. And this is kind of a sparkly, really light beige color if it's hard to see on the webcam. So if you don't know what that looks like, it's not very yellow either. It's kind of a beigey gold. All right. And this is coat 2. So again, you can see it better, but it's really light. Might help. And then you kind of just let that dry. So as that first hand's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do the second hand for the second coat of base coat, or for the first step. And it looks okay on its own, but it definitely puts the wow factor when you get the whole gradation effect. And this is nice because all the colors are already chosen for you. So they already match, and you know that right off bat. So that's kind of nice also. And I'm just going to kind of let those dry. So while those are drying, I just want to review the product quickly. Again, it's 3 easy steps. That's really nice. It comes packaged all in one. It runs about $6, maybe $7. So that's a good price for 3 polishes in general anyway. So if you're into the colors, that's always good. And it also gives you this great effect. And I'll show closer on the box what they say it looks like. I haven't got it quite that good yet, but it does look pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and start on the second coat. The second coat, you only want to do 1 coat. So this is step 2. And it's definitely a darker gold. And the way you do the darker gold is you apply this to the first third of your nail. And you want to make sure if you need to get 2 coats, that's fine. Just kind of a thick coat so you can definitely see it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's the first third of my nail is a different color. Then quickly before it dries, you take the third step, which is the glitter polish. Now, this is the blending polish, so it's really important to make sure and do this before your third dries. So this kind of blends it in. And this is what gives you that gradation, so make sure you do it again before it dries. So that's what it looks like with all 3 coats. It's nice and blended, and you get the variation of colors from light to dark at the very top. So again, you do the first coat, or first step, 2 coats. Then, after that dries a little bit, you want to make sure and give it some time to dry. You do number 2. And you make sure and do that only on the top third of the nail. Before that dries, you want to do step 3. Step 3 is on the first half of your nail, and that's what gives it the blended look. So make sure you do that, and then top coat. I always let that dry a little bit, so I'm going to let that dry. While it dries, I'm going to go ahead and do one with some white, just so you know what that looks like, because I've done it with both. It definitely gives a different effect. It kind of gives the first step some substance, whereas without it, it's kind of, I wouldn't say sheer, but it's definitely very light, as I said before. So I just put on 1 coat of white. It's really opaque. If you have a thinner white, do 2 coats. Again, before you do that, make sure to do a base coat. Base coats are always really important to protect your fingernails. Otherwise, you get chips and peeling and all that bad stuff that we don't want. So mine's drying. With the white, you really do want to make sure it gets a little bit drier. Otherwise, it messes up your polish and on your nail and in the bottle. You don't want white polish in your bottles, so let that dry a bit. So this is white with 1 coat of the first step. And then I'm going to do a second coat again, even though it's over the white. It just gives it a different effect. So that's 2 coats. Again, pretty light. And I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. It needs to dry for a little bit longer, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to do my other nails with the second coat that I didn't get a chance to do. Do those really quick. It says to do this 1 hand at a time on the instructions. Again, I don't have the instructions anymore, but I recommend doing it 1 hand at a time or even 1 nail at a time, because you want to make sure that that second step does not dry. If it dries, you basically have to start over, because it doesn't blend, and so then you kind of have stripy nails with glitter on top. No one wants that. Doesn't give the same effect. I like to just kind of dab the second step as well, because it gets a little bit thicker, a little bit more color intense. You can really see it, and it blends better. It doesn't dry as quick, so that's definitely a benefit. And then also make sure you only are doing that third step on the top half and the second step on the top third. Otherwise, you're not going to get the effect, and it's just going to be, blended all together, which is still okay. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look quite the same as gradation. So now I've done all those. So that's kind of how they look all together. And that's the thumb again. And this one's my white finger, which has dried. So I'm going to go ahead and put step 2 on there. Again, I'm dabbing the polish on the top third of the nail. Again, that's what that looks like. It's easier to see, definitely, with the white polish. It's going to give you a little bit different effect, because you have a little bit lighter of a tone on there, and you can see it better. It just isn't quite as sheer as well. So that's what you get with the white. So when I first did it, sorry, I got some white polish on there, but when I first did it, I really liked the white. It was my preferred choice, as I did it with the white. This way, I've actually done it a few times, and I prefer without the white. So that's just kind of up to you. I definitely recommend the Kiss Gradation Nail Polish. It's cheap, it's fun, it gives you a different effect. You can always still do an accent nail if that's what you're into. I recommend black or a different shade of gold. You can also do brown, depending on the look you're going for, greens or reds for the holidays, whatever you're into. So that's been my review, again, for Kiss Gradation Nail Polishes, which I received from Influencer. And don't forget your top coat. And also my demo. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks.